Welcome, dear dreamers, to the world of stories, a place where kings sail the seas, mice befriend lions, and every page sparkles with magic. Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder never ends. Once upon a time, by the riverside of a small village, there lived a kind washerman. Beside him was his faithful donkey, who carried heavy loads for him day after day. This donkey was not just any animal. He was the washerman's helper, his companion, and his friend. Day after day, the donkey carried heavy loads and walked patiently beneath the hot Sunday. The washerman was poor. He loved his donkey dearly, but he could not afford to give him enough food. One day, the hungry donkey wandered into the jungle, hoping to find something to eat. But there, too, life was not easy for him. The monkeys were clever and quickly snatched the fruits from the trees above. The deer was swift and finished the grass before Donkey could take a bite. Even the buffalo and other strong animals pushed him aside, not giving him a single bite. The donkey returned home hungrier than before, his heart heavy and his body weak. The washerman felt pity for his poor donkey. Then, suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. He brought out a lion's skin and dressed his donkey in it. The next morning, the donkey stepped into the jungle once again. But this time, everything was different. With the lion's skin covering his body, he looked fierce and mighty. The jungle animals froze in their tracks. Rabbits darted into their burrows. Deer leapt away in panic. And even the monkeys who once mocked him shrieked and scrambled high into the trees. And for the first time, the donkey was left in peace. He ate sweet grass, juicy fruits, and tender leaves, more than his belly had ever known. Day after day, he returned to the jungle. Every day, the animals ran in fear, and every day he filled his belly with all the food he could eat. But one morning, as the donkey grazed happily, he heard a sound in the distance. It was the gentle call of a female donkey. Excited beyond control, the donkey forgot himself. He lifted his head and brayed loudly. "Hee-haw! Hee-haw!" The jungle fell silent. The rabbits peeked out, the deer turned back, and the monkeys stopped mid-climb. That was no lion's roar, but the bray of a donkey. Furious at the trick, the animals charged. Monkeys threw fruit, birds pecked, deer stampeded, the donkey stumbled. The lion's skin slipped off, and with terror in his eyes, he ran, faster than ever, all the way back to his master's yard. Exhausted and ashamed, the donkey collapsed at the washerman's feet. The washerman looked at him, shook his head slowly, and said, "Oh, my foolish donkey, you had a chance to eat in peace. If only you had stayed silent, no one would have ever known. But wisdom, my friend, is knowing when to be quiet and when to speak." And so the donkey learned a lesson it would never forget. A moment of carelessness can undo a lot of hard work. At the edge of the forest, sunlight broke through the trees, painting the ground with shifting light. Kyle, a weary traveler, stepped inside. Empty sacks hung from his shoulders. He was searching for something more. The forest closed around him. Thick vines brushed against his arms. Strange whispers seemed to rise from the leaves. Kyle paused, scanning the towering trees. His face showed both hope and doubt. Deeper he walked. The air grew heavy, filled with the smell of damp earth and wild flowers. Every rustle made him turn. Every whisper sharpened his focus. He was looking for one thing, the wishing pool. At last, Kale stepped into a clearing. There it was, a pool glowing with light, not of this world. Each ripple pulled his gaze, holding him in place. And then, A whisper rose from the water. Speak your desire, traveler. But know this nature always takes a memory, a sense, a piece of your life. Kale smirked. What's a memory compared to riches? Take what you want, just give me gold. The forest darkened. The pool shimmered. On the mossy ground, a single coin appeared. Kale grabbed it instantly. Its weight was real, its promise undeniable. But greed burned in his eyes, and he shouted again, I wish for a chest overflowing with gold. The pool trembled. A chest appeared, heavy and ornate, glowing with both treasure and menace. Kale's breath quickened. His hands shook. He lunged forward. The moment he touched it, pain struck. Fire raced through his chest. His breath shattered. His hands wrinkled. His hair turned white. In a heartbeat, he screamed, his voice tearing the silence. Then he whispered, trembling, I don't want it. I don't want to take it back. But time itself was crushing him. Years fell upon him in seconds. His body withered, his spirit grew hollow, and from the shadows, the ancient voice returned. Nature always claims its due. You chose, you agreed. Remember this, what you truly hold is your real treasure. Never reach for more than what is yours. The chest glowed, alive and watchful. And Kale finally understood. Desire always comes with a price, and some treasures are never free. Deep in the jungle, where emerald leaves glistened and sapphire shadows swayed magic, lived in every breath of air. And at the heart of this wonder soared Ribbon, the rainbird. Her feathers shimmered like molten starlight, and around her neck hung the necklace of rain, a jewel of ancient power, able to summon rivers, clouds, and storms. Wherever Ribbon flew, the earth awakened, crops flourished, rivers sang, and the air filled with the sweet perfume of rain-kissed soil. Ribbon was proud of her gift, but she was lonely. Her wings carried her across the skies, yet no one could match her wonder or her responsibility. That is, until Bozo appeared, bright-feathered, playful, and with mischief sparkling in his eyes. He swept down beside her. Ribbon, he chirped, you've carried this duty alone for so long. Let me help. Just once, trust me. And for the first time, Ribbon did the unthinkable. She entrusted the necklace of rain to someone else. The skies darkened, storm clouds collided, rivers swelled, lightning struck, and chaos spread. Bozo's charm was a mask. His pride and greed had shattered the jungle's balance. Ribbon flew far away to the desert, hoping for peace. She wanted quiet, away from all the rain and rivers. Even in the barren desert, Ribbon gasped. Clouds gathered, rain poured from an impossible sky, and tiny magical flowers burst from the sand, shimmering like jewels in the storm. The furious Ribbon flapped her wings, calling the clouds to obey, but they spun and danced of their own will. Lightning ripped the desert sky, rain poured, horror gripped her heart. Ribbon flew back, the necklace no longer obeyed. The very world was unraveling. Determined, she returned. Bozo, she pleaded, her voice trembling with storm and sorrow. Give it back! The jungle needs the necklace! But Bozo only puffed his chest. No, it's mine now. Suddenly, the skies cracked open in fury. Lightning ripped through the heavens, thunder crushed the trees, and torrents of water swallowed the jungle. Bozo, trapped in the storm he had unleashed, battled the furious winds, wings flailing helplessly. And then Ribbon rose. Her silver feathers blazed with rainbow light, a shield of pure magic swirling around her. She fought to calm the storm, though the clouds roared in defiance, terrified. Bozo saw the truth. His pride had doomed them all. "Ribbon, take it! Save us!" he cried, thrusting the necklace back into her talons. With the necklace back, Ribbon calmed the skies. Rivers sparkled, flowers bloomed, and the golden sunlight returned. High above the jungle, Ribbon perched, her necklace glowing softly. It sparkled like a tiny sun, reminding her, trust is precious, and giving power to someone undeserving can bring chaos. Be careful and handle responsibility wisely. In the heart of an ancient desert kingdom, where golden palace towers touched the sky and the people lived in joy and harmony, there lived a young princess. She was kind, generous, and honest, her heart as radiant as the sun that shone upon the golden sands. One starry night, restless and curious, the princess slipped quietly from her gilded palace, disguised as a commoner, yearning to see the lives of her people beyond the royal walls. Suddenly, she spotted an old woman, shivering in the cold night, huddled beneath a gnarled tree. Hunger and loneliness were written in every line of her face. Without hesitation, the princess knelt beside her, offering the dates she carried and wrapping her warm shawl around the trembling figure. The old woman's eyes glimmered not just with gratitude, but with something mysterious, something magical. She whispered, "I have waited for someone like you, someone brave, kind, and pure of heart." With a trembling hand, the old woman gave her glowing lantern. "This is no ordinary lantern," she whispered. "It reveals hidden truths, treasures, and lies that linger in darkness. But speak one lie, and its light will vanish forever." The princess accepted it, her heart filled with both wonder and fear. Night after night, the lantern revealed its magic lies in shadow, treasures that gleamed, and doors that whispered open. Far away, the king of thieves heard of it. Driven by greed, he kidnapped the princess's father, the great king. The princess's heart raced. If the thieves seized the lantern, they could steal secrets, treasures, and bring ruin to the kingdom. She had to be clever to save her father and protect the kingdom without giving up the lantern. Her mind raced, weaving a plan. She secretly crafting a duplicate lantern, a perfect copy. That night, the princess crept to the thieves' hideout without the lantern in hand. She stepped forward, her voice steady and commanding. "You want the lantern? Bring my father to the cliff. Place him there, and I will give you the lantern." Her words were clever, a careful truth. She would place a lantern on the mountain, but it was only a clever replica. The thieves left the king where the princess had said, then rushed up the mountain, greedy for the lantern's power. But at the top, they discovered the lantern was a clever fake. In that moment, the king's guards appeared from the shadows, capturing the thieves. The princess's cleverness had saved her father and the kingdom. The real lantern glowed safely in her hands as her father whispered, "Your courage and wisdom have protected us all." And as the desert stars shimmered like scattered jewels, the kingdom slept in calm and safety, its treasures and secrets guarded forever by a princess whose heart outshone even the brightest magic. In the heart of the vast Arabic desert, golden dunes stretched endlessly under the blazing Sunday. The air shimmered with heat, and the wind whispered secrets of long-lost treasures. Through this mystical land walked Wazir, a brave young traveler, his robe dusted with sand, his throat dry from the scorching heat, and his strength fading, yet his eyes still sparkled with hope. He had been searching for treasure for days, but the desert tested him at every step, whispering secrets he could almost but not quite reach. His body sank into the scorching sand. His throat was parched, his stomach empty. He had no water, no food. He looked around, hoping, praying for help. But the desert stretched endlessly in every direction. Then, just as hope began to fade, far across the shimmering dunes, something magical caught his eye. A golden caravan appeared. Camels glimmered like jewels, and riders draped in flowing silk gazed at him, their eyes gleaming with ancient secrets. Wazir's heart leapt at last. Hope had returned. The riders welcomed Wazir with endless water and food, and led him silently across the glowing dunes. No one spoke during the journey. Soon they reached a hidden place, golden tents glowing in the evening light, beside a crystal-clear pond, surrounded by sparkling treasures of gold. Then a person stepped out of one of the golden tents and said, "Welcome, traveler. Take what you need, treasure, food, or water. But remember, once you start walking, never look back." The man was so serious and commanding that Wazir didn't dare to ask for anything. He simply thanked the generous man, took a bag of dates, a flask of water, and a handful of gold coins, and began to walk away. As Wazir walked, his heart raced with wonder and curiosity. "This is the treasure I've been searching for," he thought. "I'll just look back to mark the place in my mind and return for more." One glance, just one look behind him, and in an instant, the golden caravan vanished. Shock ran through him as sand poured from his bag. The dates and food had turned to sand, the gold coins were gone, and even the flask of water was filled with nothing but sand. He stumbled and struggled, barely surviving the desert's wrath. But deep inside, a truth had taken root. Greed tempts, curiosity challenges, and true wisdom comes from self-control. From that day on, no one ever saw the golden caravan or its shimmering tents again. In a bright, sunlit village, there lived a boy named Mana. He wasn't the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest. What made him special were his words. Every morning, Mana scattered kind words like seeds. To the baker, he said, "Good morning, your bread smells wonderful." The baker's heart lifted. He rose earlier, kneading with joy, waiting for Mana's smile. To the gardener, he said, "Your flowers shine brighter today." The gardener straightened proudly, tending each bloom with new care. As he entered the classroom, he greeted his friends with a bright smile. "I'm so happy to see you." Their eyes lit up. Their laughter rang louder, as if Mana's words had chased the morning shadows away. But not every shadow lifted. From the dark, John sneered. "He's pretending. His kindness is a trick." And he set out to break Mana. One day, John stole Mana's lunch. He smirked, waiting for Mana to cry. Mana did not cry. He walked home slowly, stomach empty, face pale. The baker saw him pass. His heart twisted. "He's hungry." The baker remembered those words. "Your bread smells wonderful." He ran out, pressed warm bread into Mana's hands. "For Mana, the boy who lifts my mornings." Mana looked up, weak but smiling. "Thank you." From the shadows, John watched. He scowled. His trick had failed. The next day, John struck again. He hid Mana's books, waiting for the smile to fade. In class, Mana sat silent. His teacher noticed, remembering the boy who always whispered, "Thank you." That evening, she stayed behind, guiding him patiently. For Mana, the boy who remembers gratitude, from a hidden corner near the doorway, John watched. His jaw tightened. He scowled. His trick had failed again. That evening, John snapped Mana's bat in half. He wasn't careless. He did it on purpose, just to hurt him. "Let's see him play now," John muttered. Mana freezes. His friends rush forward. Furious then, one shouts with a grin, "Bat or no bat, we still play together." They pull Mana into the game. Laughter erupted. Mana smiled. John's face twisted with anger and disbelief. "No matter what I do, he still shines." He turned away, chest heavy, eyes dark. The next morning, Mana planted seeds with the clergyman. His hands trembled, yet every movement was steady with care. "Kindness is like this, Mana," he said. "You plant, you wait, and one day it grows." Mana nodded. From the shadows, John watched his chest tight, his body shaking. A whisper escaped his lips. "Why? I stole. I tricked. I broke. Why did I do this?" Yet before him, Mana still smiled, calm, steady. In the garden, John sat alone, fists shaking, voice breaking. "Why him? Why not me?" Mana turned, stepping closer. His voice was calm, his eyes kind. "Words are seeds. What you plant returns. So, remember, little ones, your words are seeds. Kindness will grow into flowers. Unkindness will grow into thorns. The choice is always yours." Far beyond the 7 seas, there lived a brave sailor named Mario. The ocean was his home, and adventure was his constant companion. He sailed alone, chasing the secrets that danced across the waves. One morning, as the sun sparkled on the waves, Mario saw a turtle caught in a net, struggling to reach the water. Its flippers thrashed frantically, but it couldn't break free. Suddenly, from high above, an eagle dived, talons out, eyes locked on the helpless creature. Quick as lightning, Mario leapt. He shielded the turtle, scooping it gently from danger and diving underwater to keep it safe. Just when he thought the danger had passed, he returned to his boat, hoping the turtle would be okay, and continued his journey. Then something extraordinary happened. A golden fish leapt from the waves, its scales glowing like molten sunlight. With a flick of its tail, it circled Mario's boat, splashing water that shimmered like sparks. Then, with a sudden surge, the fish darted forward and pulled the water around it into a swirling current. The current wrapped around Mario, drawing him gently off the boat and down into the sea. At first, Mario gasped in fear. Sure, he would sink and drown. But then he realized something incredible. He could breathe beneath the water as easily as on land. Before him, the golden fish swam gracefully, its glow lighting the water like a lantern in the dark. Mario followed, drawn deeper and deeper, until the sea opened into a sight that stole his breath. A magical city rose all around Mario, hidden deep beneath the sea. Tiny houses made of coral and shells shimmered in the glow. Colorful fish darted through the streets, quick and curious, while graceful mermaids glided playfully between the buildings. Above, lantern-like jellyfish floated slowly, casting a warm golden light. The entire city sparkled with enchantment, a world of wonder shining beneath the waves. From every coral corner, curious sea creatures peeked out, watching the new visitor. The golden fish led Mario to a grand palace. From its gates emerged the Sea Queen herself, radiant, majestic, and wise. "Brave sailor," she said, her voice echoing through the water, Your courage has brought you here. You saved life without thinking of reward, and for that I welcome you. You are not a danger to us." She arranged for the golden fish to guide Mario on a tour of the city. And so, Mario swam through this hidden world, eyes wide with wonder. Glowing pearls floated like fireflies, treasures sparkled from coral nooks, and fish swirled around his legs as if celebrating his arrival. But the Sea Queen's voice reminded him gently, "You may stay here forever, but only as we do. Without water, you cannot survive, and when the sun sets, your memories of the world above will fade." Mario's heart swelled with joy. This was the place he had always dreamed of, a world he had only heard about in stories. For a moment, he wanted to stay forever, but then a memory pierced his heart. His mother, waiting at home, her eyes searching the horizon, praying for his return. With determination, Mario turned to the Sea Queen. He thanked her, then said goodbye to her and the enchanted city. The golden fish circled him one last time, its glow lighting the way. Guided by its light, Mario swam upward, breaking through the waves into the bright, open sky. When he reached the surface, he turned back. The underwater city had vanished, leaving only silence and the gentle sway of the ocean. In his hand, he found a single, perfect pearl, glowing softly. A gift from the Sea Queen, a reminder of loyalty, love, and the choice he had made. Mario returned home, carrying the pearl close to his heart. And he never forgot the truth. The greatest treasure is not gold or jewels, but the people who love us and the place we call home.